everywhere, you see, we are talking concerned about peaceful humanity, isn't it? The peaceful world. This not from prayer, not from technology, not from money, not from religion, but from Mother. This is my fundamental belief. Mother, I consider our first teacher, teach compassion. First day after my birth, immediately I experienced the mother's sort of compassion, mother's affection. That is, I think, the most important part of building healthy family. And that means healthy humanity.
Mother is a primal word, and many people consider that the mother is the great archetype because each human being comes through the mother. And the great mother archetype is the consistency in human life as well as in spiritual life to provide a bridge between the concept of deep self-knowledge and the capacity to love. And so when the Great Mother is lost or forsaken, we will have more violence in the world.
It is tragedy what we are doing to this planet. And we just massacre the mother. And we massacre the mother inside ourselves. Because the compassion, the love, the beingness, the presence that makes life worth living, that makes life life, is in that archetype.
In a Buddhist sense, Lord Buddha's teaching, all teachings put together, the whole corpus of Buddhist literature, we call them the Honorable Mother, because when you study this, understand this, develop insight, then you're enlightened.
I don't think of it as some mysterious thing that, has to happen by the divine, quote, coming in. I know that people do it, that they are the divinity. You must find this in yourself, and you must fight for it. And our job is to model people who have done that, like the Dalai Lama's mother.
My mother, really? Oh. Actually, I'm Dalai Lama, trained. But my mother, completely sort of uneducated as a farmer woman. But I think my mother, by natural sort of quality, I think I can say quality of leadership, I think my mother have more than me. I feel. Oh. Well, and my father not like that.
Gyayum chimusa gyayum chade ta gyawe yum rwa. Gyawarum chi yum ri gyayum che. Chimusa de ta gime dile ta to me asir. Gosu to yo marwa. Chemu. Gyayum ri chemu ri.
My grandmother, you see, was a remarkable woman. All her children would say so. All her grandchildren would say so. All the people of Tibet would say so. She put herself into contact with many ordinary people, and they realized that, she was a great woman, a woman of great strength. And so they called her the mother of Tibet. Right?
We all refer to her as Gyaltsab Tsomo. She so embodied the mother figure that anyone would feel like a child towards her.
We Tibetans value our parents very, very deeply. We are full of gratitude. After all, they brought us into the world.
And the tremendous warmth that I feel towards my mother, or the warmth she gave me, I think it's the greatest gift I ever received.
An archetype is an experience that every human being has. And parenting is an archetype. We've been birthed, we've been nurtured, we've been cared for to the best that the mother or the father could at that time.
The foundation of our happiness or successful life is human compassion, human love. So I think that experience, I think really goes very deep in our mind. So I think it makes, I think, big differences. Those child who have the experience of full sort of affection during that period, and those child who are lacking during that period, I think make differences whole life.
Rare among spiritual leaders in the world, he acknowledges that he learned compassion, caring, devotion from his mother. And when I heard that, I said, yeah, well, this man is alert to the truth.
I do not consider my mother as a enlightened or wise woman. Wise, I think, in sense, of course, you see, by nature, by birth, wise, wisdom, these are there. You see, in my own case, I learned compassion, love, these from my mother. So this fundamental human sort of quality, this I feel really important to preserve. I used to go my mother's place, even particularly when, you see, my lesson with my the junior tutor, not very well, then I little cry. Then as soon as finished that lesson, I went to my mother's place and little cry in front of my mother. Then she take me and give me full sort of love or compassion like that. She don't care about the tradition. She loves more. She feel more concerned about her baby's sort of desire rather than custom or tradition. So, like small baby, the mother's affection is very essential.
Probably the most primal aspect of the Great Mother is the teaching of compassion and love, and every experience that every human being has had has been about the mother. And so the Great Mother is at the same time inclusive and embracing, but very fierce, like Kali, and a fire that will not tolerate injustice.
We left Lhasa early morning because the Chinese invasion was taking place. It was before dawn. We had a sky full of stars, and my mother was about to get on her horse, and I could see the outline of her body. with the background of the stars. So that I remember very vividly. And as a child, I didn't know what was happening. All I know is that we are going to a different place.
Option I go lolia and the two billion do ishin of the Congo, the first party chipu. Chase an answer bed the Tawan Pato bed and get it. Did Masuri le Chimbra, Tawan che, Tawan and Masuri pay to the Yabuchumbre Sunto. Yabuchumbre, Tangan to pay you to ban to Bushita Yang Shas. Sugar, Pule, Dindu. Pezi Yungures, delay the birch in here to Suntoa. Burpay with the pushy chabba.
I think it was difficult the first day because we traveled at night, it was cold. And subsequently she got used to it because we traveled during the day. But it was difficult for her because she had knee problems, see. But again, she took it so easily into her stride. She accepted. She didn't make a fuss, she didn't complain.
She was happy to be alive, happy to be not cold, and happy to be not hungry. So if you learned how to think like that, no situation is difficult. That's what she did, I think.
여인치모 그때 제외는 닝지 친구 쉬부지 레샤스. 때문에 벽을 로주된 손배강이야. 때 개미기 벽을 두고다는 데지는 거나 미셔버진나. 때 개미를 방을 얘기해 주고 와. 여인치모 그때는 개미닝제 숭구리. 그래서 때 개미 랭에 뭐 쉬우산다. 고 랭에 뭐 싸버디 킹고로 와. 개미되게 닝제 안주 벽받인데 두고다서 스티네 숭구리.
There are people that tell us that she used to be dressed in brocade in Tibet. And when she came to live in exile, she changed her dress into very simple dress. But for her, it was no problem. She just showed the example to the others. We've lost everything. Now we have to live life like this. So don't waste time, sort of thing.
Prior to 59, it was very carefree. We were all very happy. But then after 59, there was a sense of urgency, a sense of, an intense sense of purpose. With the influx of all the Tibetans coming out, 80,000 Tibetans coming out, so many Tibetans coming out with nothing. And every day, there will be like, say, 100 or 200 people lined up outside our house begging for food.
I think my mother, especially I think my mother, very compassionate-minded. Whenever you see she met, you see some poor person, some beggar, she always cry. And whatever she have, especially in kitchen, whatever she have, always give them. Very, very sort of kind, warm-hearted person. So I think certainly, I think we all have, I think, some influence from that.
Exactly like my mother. My mother, raised 8 children. Anyone who came to our door was fed if they were hungry, clothed if they were naked, warmed if they were cold. That is the nature of the mother. It is innate. I mean, it's not even special,
Met the challenges so well, and then she modified without compromising her basic principles throughout her life. And the most important thing is she remained very, very simple.
Having led the life that she did as a very special woman, she didn't stop that even at the time when she was dying. She handled that so bravely, so wisely. Not only that, just before she died, a few hours before she died, She sat up and sitting up very neatly as though you're ready to board the plane or something like that. And she thanked all the staff for having been so kind and good to her.
Just a month before she passed away, I was invited abroad, and I was hardly for 2 weeks. I heard my mother passed away. So when I arrived back, she had already been cremated and everything. It was too late for me. And it seems, for Tibetans, we say the person who's dying must die really peacefully. And if there are people, sort of crying and, making a lot of fuss, it's not good for the dying person. So when I met His Holiness, after that, he said, oh, maybe it was good you were not there, because you'll be crying and you'll be making such a noise that, she won't even have a peaceful death. So when His Holiness told me that, then I thought, all right, then that was okay, Yes. Yes.
The later part of her life, she never showed me some kind of anxiety or worry about life, about death or old age or death. Sometimes she complained a little, oh, now my knees are difficult to move, or that kind of thing. Otherwise, she never complained much. So therefore, no particular sort of, suggestion at the time of death, what kind of prayer, what kind of sort of the mental attitude should be, that kind of discussion not happen.
On the day she passed away, that morning I woke up and there was this feeling that something was going to get lost in me. I went over to my grandma's bedroom, and my grandmother lay on the bed with a white sheet up till her neck. Then I rushed to my mother and I asked her what's happening. And she told me that Grandma was no longer with us and that she had passed away. And that was the first time death was so close to me.
She was so much a source of inspiration for everything. And although we are out of Tibet, as long as she's with us, I felt like, being in Tibet, in the lap of Mother Tibet, sort of. This is what I felt very, empty when she left us. But then, on the funeral day, Tenzin Gyatso, my son, he was very sad, and he looked up at me and said, Momola's no more now, no? I said, yeah, no more. And then, we